Hi everyone, it's Tammy, and today we're going to make stuffed peppers in the crock pot. And this is a fairly easy recipe. The only thing you need are bell peppers, and I'm going to make a total of 2 bell peppers that are stuffed, but I'm going to cut them in half so it'll make 4 halves. And then I want to use some ground beef, or in my case I'm using ground turkey. This is the 93% fat-free. I like this kind. And I'm going to chop up some onion, some garlic, some pasta sauce, whatever your favorite is or whatever's on sale, which is what I choose. And then I have some Italian seasoning and some Mamma Mia marinara sauce that I got from Tastefully Simple that I'm going to use as well. So these are the 2 spices I'm going to add. And that is pretty much it. I do need to get a bowl because I'm going to mix the meat with this sauce and stuff here in a minute. So I need to get a bowl out. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and chop up my onion and get the green peppers halved. I've already washed them. And it can be as much or as little onion as you want. This was left over from some burgers. I think that that will be a fair slice. So I'm just going to chop this up. And we don't mind onions, but you know, the thinner you, or the smaller you make them, the less you have to know that it's an onion or whatever. So that's always a tip for children. Although my kids have never had a problem with eating vegetables, but I know that some of my friends, their kids hated eating vegetables. And so whatever you can do to make them less visible is a little better. But you know, us, we don't care. We're grown-ups now. All of us, even my children's. So I'm going to put that in my bowl. And I cheat a lot and buy already chopped up onion, which is fine too, but I had that onion because, like I said, we did burgers, and my husband likes sliced onions on his burger. I'm going to go ahead and just slice this down the middle, and I'm going to take my garbage bag and pop out all of the membrane and the seeds and that back little stem thing. And I was told once that if you get peppers with 4 humps on the bottom, that those are sweeter. I don't know if it's necessarily true, but when I'm doing something like this, I look for the 4 humps. I've never really looked to see if that's true or not. And I've never done a taste test, but you know, it's one of those things that you hear and you're like, oh, okay. So now that's what you guys can do. I think it's the female, and then there's male. Who knew? I didn't even know. So I'm just cleaning these out the best that I can of the membrane and the seeds, just so that there will be something to stuff them with. Well, I can tell you that I'm going to have plenty of leftover meat because I have a whole pound of meat, and there's no way these are each going to hold a 1/4 pound, but that's okay. I mean, it's kind of like a meatloaf. So I'll just put the rest of the meat. Maybe I'll make a little loaf. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Get all the seeds out. I think I dropped some onion on the floor. I did. Well, gosh, I picked it up and threw it on the floor again. So I think that's all the chopping that I have to do because I like to buy my garlic already minced. And I'm gonna put, I don't know, about 3 cloves in there. I'm gonna open my Prego, and I'm only gonna put a couple of, an ounce or so, maybe not even that much, maybe I'll do about an ounce or 2 in there. And then we're gonna use the rest in a minute. And I didn't get out any cheese, but I might like to top this with some cheese. The recipe that I have does not call for cheese, but honestly, who doesn't like cheese? Oh, that's weird how it was like separated. I had to smell it, make sure it was still good. It's cold. I thawed it out from the freezer. Okay, so now what you're going to do is mix this together. And I didn't add my spices. Dingbat. You should have added your spices before you started doing the mixing. Actually, I think I'm going to wash my hands and then I'll add the spices because I'm just going to have to mix them in anyway. So let me wash my hands really quickly. Okay, so now let's add some spice. I'm just going to take the lid off and go for it. I would say about, oh goodness, this is like stuck in there. I would say 2 teaspoons or so. This must have gotten hot. There we go. And probably 2 teaspoons of the Italian. It's to taste, really, whatever you want to do. Okay, so now that that's added, now let's go ahead and mix this all together. I could have gotten a little bigger bowl, but I didn't. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm actually going to pour a little bit of this Prego in the bottom of my crock pot. And I don't care if I touch that because I'm going to throw it away. And then I'm going to stuff my pepper. And I'm going to stuff it pretty full. There we go. And I'm going to let this cook on low for about 4 hours. It doesn't need as long as an all-day kind of a cook. And we'll check it in 4 hours and see how it is. I'm actually doing pretty good at getting this kind of stuffed with all of it, so maybe I can use all of it in these 4 halves. I'm obviously making them bigger than I probably need, but that's okay. And I'm just making sure the pepper is sitting on the spaghetti sauce or the pasta sauce. So I got all that in there. How about that? I did do it. And I'm going to take my remaining sauce and pour it right on top of these peppers. And usually what I do is I put a little water in here and then I go again, but I don't think it needs it, so I'm not going to. So I'm going to throw this away and wash my hands. And then we'll get that started. Dishes. I'm going to put my lid on here, turn it on, 4 hours on high, and now it is going. And then I am going to make some bread in my bread machine to go along with this. And I'm just following the bread machine recipe, but I will switch this camera around and show you that. So here we go. Okay guys, so this is the express break traditional style white bread that I got with my bread machine. And this is a Sunbeam bread machine. And let's see, so I need to start off with 1 cup and 2 tablespoons of hot water. And I just get that straight from the tap. And it's already been running because I had it for my dishes, so I knew I was going to pour it in there. 1 cup and 2 tablespoons. I don't usually take it out. So there we go. I just guesstimate. And then I need to use 2 tablespoons of canola oil, and you add them to the bread machine just like they show. So 2 tablespoons of canola or vegetable oil, and I'm just going to find my tablespoon side. And it looks like it only shows 1 tablespoon, so there's 1, there's 2. In case you guys are wondering, I will not be eating the bread. And then 2 tablespoons of sugar. So I keep that in this little sugar container. 1, 2, and 1 teaspoon of salt. This little measurement thing came in my bread machine, so I'm just using that. And 3 cups of flour, so I have that in my little flour thing. And this cup actually came with it too, so that's kind of cool. 1, 2, and then I'm gonna get 1 more. 3, and I'm gonna put just a little bit more because I'm not sure that all of those were full, so there we go. And then I need to refill this, and I have some extra flour. I didn't know if I'd have enough, but I do. And then what you do is you make like a little hole in the flour. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a little dip right just in the flour, and that's where you'll put the yeast. And I need 5 teaspoons of yeast, and I keep this. You guys took a dip in the flour. You seriously did. Did you really want that close of a view? I would have showed you. I keep this in my freezer. I'm just going to put this right in that little hole that I made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you'll just have to follow the directions for your bread machine, whatever it calls for. Mine has like an express bread setting, which is what I'm going to use. I just have to set this down in it and then twist it to lock it in, and then close it, and once I plug it in, it turns on. So then I'm just going to put it in Express Bake, which is number 6, and hit start. And it takes an hour. So I will check back with this when it's done, and I will also put some cheese maybe at that time on the peppers. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Okay guys, so the bread is done. It's still very warm, and I'm just gonna let it probably sit in here to cool, but it looks so good, and it smells wonderfully. Wonderful. Well, it smells great. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some cheese on top of here. Now it has been a couple of hours. I didn't get back to it as quickly as I said I was going to, but it doesn't matter. It's okay. And I have some Kraft mozzarella cheese. I think I'll just use it all. I actually had it in the freezer, and I have plenty, and cheese has protein, so they're still a little stuck to the side because, like I said, this had been in the freezer. So it's a little melty. Oh, sorry, I'm not even showing you the... Okay, that looks good. So I'm just going to put the lid back on it and let that melt on top while it's still cooking. Because those, you know, the meat inside needs to really cook. So there it is. We'll wait and I'll show you it when it's done. Okay, hi again everyone. It is almost time to eat, not quite, but I know that this is done. And holy shamoly, is it ever done. It really looks good, but that cheese totally melted on top of everything. I probably put it in a little too early. But yeah, that is completely done. Those are some stuffed peppers. I'm just gonna leave the lid on, but a little bit off, like let some air in. And I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it and just let it sit there because my husband is not home yet, but they look really good. I'm sure they will be delicious. And we also have the bread. Let me turn it, sorry. So here is our bread. It is cooled down now. Totally easy to touch, but I can take it out if I want to, but honestly I don't need to yet. Oh, sorry, I'm not even showing you. But yeah, I will get this out when he gets here and I will cut it. And yeah, he can have some of that for dinner. And I didn't say, but I have also put lots of different things in this bread before, like if I wanted to make it cheesy bread or garlic bread or Italian seasonings or Cajun, whatever seasonings you might want to put, you can also add that when you're adding the other ingredients. So that's a nice little transition if you want to do something else, if you wanted to use wheat flour or whatever, but this is just the basic white loaf. So there we go. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Okay, well, I'm waiting for Dennis to get home from work, and I thought I'd go ahead and slice the bread and probably dish up some food so that we can try it. They have a really cool thing I saw online that allows you to put your bread in this little wooden thing, and then it has like individual slices. It's pretty cool. I may end up getting one of those because it's hard to cut bread perfectly sliced, but you can see how this bread is. I guess it's not that hard, but maybe I don't need it yet, especially since I don't make bread that often. But it's a neat little contraption, and I love kitchen gadgets. This bread smells so good. So it's best if you wait for bread to cool, even though that's really sometimes hard to do. I'm not a big, huge bread eater, but even me, when it's fresh out of the bread maker or out of the oven, oh, with some butter on it, it's just fabulous. But since I am doing low carbs, I'm not even interested. It's really kind of weird. So it's okay to me that it, you know, it sat there for a while, and I'm more excited about the peppers for sure. And I try to make the heel as small as possible, but I think that that's about as small as I'm gonna get. But you can see how soft this bread is. I wish you guys could smell it because it smells fabulous. So I will leave this out for my husband, but you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this, put this on my clean counter, take this, rinse it off. or dust it off. Put the bread back on here and clean up this, because if I don't, there will be crumbs everywhere. It's a good thing I spent time this morning cleaning up my island, but I knew I'd be, well, at first I thought I was going to make like homemade bread, but then I thought, no, you know what, just get the bread maker out. So that's what I did. I guess I could make a side or something with this, but I don't know what to make with it. I think I'll just let him deal with it, and I should make a plate for Alex, one to make sure he ate his food from last night. Had to check the microwave. So let's see, I'm gonna get a spoon. And there are 4 halves, so I'm gonna take one of the halves and put it on a plate for Alex. And I'm just gonna put that in the microwave so that it'll be ready for him when he's ready to eat it. And he's working tonight, so it'll probably, and he's doing the pizza delivery thing. So it'll be after that. And then I'm gonna find a pretty big one for the hubs. And it is kind of saucy. And there's still 2 in here, and I'm gonna take the smallest one for myself. But I am positive I will not be able to eat all of that. And I use saucers instead of plates, but it works out great. So I don't know if I should dish up that one or put it in a Tupperware, put it on Alex's plate. I don't know. I think I'll wait. And then I wonder if I have any Parmesan. Not, but I do have some mozzarella, and I know that my husband would like that, so I'm going to put some on top of his. I'm not going to put any on top of mine because I know that it's in there. He doesn't necessarily know that. I mean, I think it just looks pretty. And I want to try this for you guys. Get out a fork for him and a fork for me. And here's what it looks like in the middle. Very good. And I'm just going to take a little bite here. Make sure I get a little pepper and a little meat. Needs salt, but it is very good. It tastes a little bit like Spanish rice. That's something that I guess I could have made with it, is some rice, but my husband loves salt, so I'm gonna over salt his, and I will tell him. And the tomatoes, anything with tomatoes I think needs salt. So let's try this. Another little piece of pepper. Oh, that's better. Fabulous, really. I hope that you guys try it. I hope you like it. I might go ahead and butter a piece of bread for him. And just have it ready. He should be home any minute. So there's dinner. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.